It was like facing those bullying and certain words that are made to make women feel low on their self-esteem. I have experienced molestation through 5 other boys.
There was 24% of women who dropped out of work, who were made to drop out of work. All the women start working, India's GDP will be higher than what it is today.
Although we have artificial intelligence, we must keep our actual intelligence going. There's massive issue with our style of speaking, our communication in India. We just, as Indian society majority, I think the taunting and belittling and making women feel low, even in the festivals, marriage functions, and everywhere. I think this has been the way.
Hi everyone. Today we have Rashmi Raikar with us, who is Kundalini breath flow and Tantra facilitator, and she is also a motivational speaker. And she specializes in divine feminine energies, which can help empower women. And she's here with us to discuss more on women's safety and empowerment. So, welcome Rashmi to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Nandita.
Yeah.
This is special for me.
And if you can start with what is your background and introduce yourself more on what's the kind of work that you are doing.
Right. So the journey, in short, has been like schooling, engineering, get a job, and that's how life was. But a lot of situations in life led me to knowing more about myself and to know more about who am I as a woman. So what is my biology about? That is when I realized we don't know ourselves really well. That is when divine feminine energy, Kundalini Urja, the concepts about Tantra became important for me, and how that spiritual modality can give me some sense of safety and a sense of empowerment from inside became important. So that's how my journey from the usual life, from job to entrepreneurship, with emphasis on women empowerment and definitely women's safety and sovereignty, is become so important in my life.
And what was that one inspiration that made you? I think you were a software engineer, right?
Yes.
So, what is that one inspiration that actually made you decide ki no, I want to start this with Kundalini?
So it is majorly about a setback in my personal life. That's when I was having a conversation in a relationship. It was like the way a man knew about a woman, I did not know about myself. And somewhere along the line, I really felt low on my self-esteem. I have to admit that I really did not know about how my biology works, how my ovaries work, how should I make myself feel safe in my body first, and then make me feel safe and conducive in the environment around me. So that's where knowing about anything to do with divine feminine energy, anything to do with who am I as an individual and as feminine biologically, became important. So that's where the passion and drive has been from.
Okay. So, when did you start with this?
So it's been close to 3.5 years now. I have been in this field of pretty much breath flow and tantra concepts, facilitation.
That's really great to know. I think many women can relate to this, right? Where we don't know how to make ourselves feel safe with our bodies.
Pretty much, yeah.
How it's very right what you said.
Other than that, many hobbies, travel and solo trips have been the best.
Okay.
Other than that, pretty much focused on how we can help women see their divinity first.
I think it's a great thing that you're doing. For a woman, it's very important to give that self importance. In today's world where we are like the diminishing characters basically.
Right.
Yeah. So coming to the whole point of this podcast, there are a lot of issues that women face in day-to-day lives, right? So when it comes to stay safety specifically, we always have to be conscious about ourselves, where we are, who's around us, who's talking what way. There's a lot that woman goes through in one day's life, and That's why we are trying to build that community wherein we don't want to just speak about the issues, but we also want to bring up solutions together as a community and work towards that cause.
Much needed.
Yeah. So I think every woman would have faced or had this experience, but I would like to ask you, have you ever felt unsafe in public spaces or while commuting from work or even at workplaces or
Mhm. So pretty much in my early days of childhood and my teenage life in Belgaum, yes, I have faced that a lot, where it wasn't easy for me to, like, if I'm walking by the street, some guy used to, like, eve teasing has been a lot back in those days. Now that we have technology and awareness, it's slightly okay, but back in those days when I faced it, yes, a lot of that eve teasing and men looking at me walking on the streets in a certain way really made me feel uncomfortable.
yeah.
So that has always kept a sense of fear in me around feeling safe and secure. Even when if there are strangers speaking to me, if they speak in a loud way, I don't quite feel safe at that point of time, because I am somebody who expects a little good tone of voice of being spoken. So there is again the safety factor over there. So pretty much while walking on streets of Belgaum, moving from my home to my tuition classes, yes, I have faced that, and it wasn't a good experience
Yeah.
at all. Um, Really, that, and we could not even tell our parents as to what happened, because that sensation around fear, panic was so much that we could not really tell what happened. So that was the issue. And metro cities, yes, when I used to travel, again during somewhere around 8th standard or 9th standard, yeah, that has happened where a man tried to touch my body, touch my upper body, and I was like, I'm not feeling comfortable, but I'm not able to communicate what is it. I'm not able to put it in words, right? So that is that somewhere along the way, and the kind of experiences I had, it generated a sense of anger and hate, the emotion of anger and hate. It took me a long time, and it took me a lot of healing and practices to realize, okay, that why am I hating men so much? The point was, somebody somewhere in my previous times or my childhood or my younger days made me feel so unsafe in this world. Like, I can't walk freely in this world. Where is the place when I can be truly free? And in the corporate world where I was there, in the tech world for 4 years, worked there as a software test engineer, it was like facing those bullying and certain words that are made to make women feel low on their self-esteem. So again, it triggered that experience of feeling safe or not. So I used to always be on the fence and always on the edge, like, how much should I interact with people? Will they make me feel good or not? So yeah, that is how
you
it is.
spoke about how corporate in a corporate space people bully you or men bully you. So can you say a few examples just to understand more on what kind of things happen in there?
When I was going to the office, I was riding all the way to EcoSpace. That's a location in Bangalore. A bus driver came. I was riding on my lane, but the bus driver came and he just overtook. So that was like a shocking moment. I was like, I can't let this person go away. I have to tell him that he shouldn't really drive that way. So I went forward. At the next stop, the bus driver had stopped anyway. So I stopped him there, and I was telling him that the way he drove, it could have been a accident for me, or something could have happened to me. So that wasn't appropriate, the way he was driving. The response from him was astonishing, and that made me, again, that triggers and feelings of not feeling supported or not being protected and feeling so threatened by that driver. It happened like, the response was, we will look at you later. What you are telling doesn't really matter. So I was like, at that moment, a life really doesn't matter. And the way he was telling me, it was that thing in Kannada. And that made me feel like, am I safe or am I being threatened right now? So that moment where he spoke in such a way, only thing that angered him or rage in him was that a female is telling him how to ride or how to drive. That rash driving isn't going to work. So this is how people don't think 10 steps ahead. And that is why probably women like us at one point we just give up on really voicing our opinion.
Yeah.
We are like, we did it many times, but nobody is
Nobody
really taking
listens.
us seriously, and especially men just shove it away
Mm.
when women try to voice it, right? So I think that's where somehow women have kind of taken a step back to never tell what they go through, right? So that's what it is.
We are all very passionate about our work, and we try to work till late night, or even up to late evening, 7 8 o'clock. But then there's always a call from the family members, from my father, or from somebody else, asking us to come back before, you know before dark. Just be home by 6. Do you think this is the solution that is required for keeping our women safe?
200% no, because we are again creating a sense of fear with the dark. Then women really won't experience half of the world because we are seeing only sunlight. How will we see the dark? So, definitely calling women home by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock is not the solution at all. But okay, what best can we do when it comes to the level of awareness, when it comes to how men and women behave with each other, and how much I have seen from my personal experience. I think there should be a lot of behavioral development from in the male collective, because if they have seen certain pornography videos, or certain videos which are so violent towards women, or certain red pilled videos which make men feel they are superior and they have certain rage and anger against women, so that will somewhere show up, right? That will project. So keeping women in the dark, like keeping them in certain fear ki you have to come before 8 o'clock, is not at all valid. Then we are not really helping women rise.
Yeah.
You're again going to curtail their freedom.
Yeah.
Women will not learn how to stay on their own independent, and then that's where it causes so much of dependency all the time, right? And in that way individuals will never be free. So why we cannot balance it from both sides, where women are given certain ways of methods of how they can develop their awareness around it, and be bold on speaking, majorly to be bold and vocal about what they have gone through. And for men also to acknowledge that this has happened. Like, I would highly welcome good conscious men to come and say, like, yes, I hear you, this has happened, what can be done. There was only one instance where one of my friends, when I shared a story, when I was just sharing a statement that one of my exes had called me, I'm a second hand. Yeah. So that's the kind of conversations that happen when certain men, educated, masters in business administration men, speak to women. This
Wow.
And when I shared this story with one of my friends, he's like, he got furious and he was like, let's go to his home and bombard him.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, I haven't seen a man like that who reacts to this, because he knows that what happened with me was wrong. And at least that was that conscious masculine who was, that energy was coming forward and saying, let's go and speak up for your rights. He meant to say that, right? So this is where it's not just about safety, it's through words also how women are made to feel.
Wherein after the Nirbhaya case that happened, there was 24% of women who dropped out of work, who were made to drop out of work because of this reason. And we women, if we can work, there is literally statistics and data all over which says that if all the women start working, India's GDP will be higher than what it is today.
Absolutely.
That's the potential that is being suppressed, and yeah, rightly you said, right? Corporates, there's a lot of bullying that happens. It really matters. It might just be in just a few words, but it really affects the women there
Yes.
to stop working or to reconsider
Right.
going into the teams or even to speak up in the meetings.
Even though there is AI,
Yeah.
there is still another AI,
very
which is
strong.
actual intelligence,
Yes,
which
yes.
is very much connected to what women
I think
are.
we are born with it. It's just
Yes.
that the kind of brought up or the society
Yeah.
pressure, it's just suppressed with that.
True.
Yeah.
So it just came that although we have artificial intelligence, we must keep our actual intelligence going.
I like this
So-
actual intelligence. It's very nice.
So yeah, that's where a lot of creative ideas coming through women have just been put in a corner, or they have just gone lost.
Yeah.
This is why even if women have great contributions, if I take the name of Tessie Thomas, who is the missile woman of India,
Mm.
but hardly anybody know about her.
Yeah.
That's like, and there are other personalities where their stories are not known, but they were the force who gave such brilliant idea.
Yeah.
So Mahindra Thar was designed by a woman,
Woman. Yeah, yeah.
but only she put her word forward. What if there are so many women who have extremely beautiful ideas,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And I really, really appreciate Hedy Lamar for her Bluetooth invention,
Yeah.
Bluetooth and Wi-Fi technology invention. Otherwise, you and me wouldn't meet today.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, this is what women can do if they are given free thought and freedom of space, that safety, that environment,
Yeah, yeah.
which can unleash their creativity.
Very true. Rashmi, are there any other incidents that you have gone through, or anybody in your known connects have had certain vulnerable situations or unsafe situations that you would like to share?
Yes, I have heard too many stories of my clients, and it has been my own personal story where during somewhere in seventh standard, I think it was my teenage time, I have experienced molestation through five other boys. So that has been a difficult experience for me, and that kept me in a lot of fear. Although I people think I'm brave and I'm bold to do what I want, but there's a lot of things that led me to do so, which I had to face and go forward, because those dreams and those situations that I faced in my life, being touched inappropriately by men in certain functions or public places, and even this is somewhere within the family, I have experienced this.
Okay.
So it wasn't an easy thing, and there came a situation in life where I just bursted out in front of my parents, and I was in absolute rage mode where I had to tell my mom and dad what I am going through, because at that point I could not listen to other people's problems. I'm like, hey, my problems are really causing me a lot of health issues and causing a lot of setbacks. So when I expressed this to my mother and my father, although I've had a great life overall, but it's still, when I shared that I had these experiences of molestation and kind of almost being raped kind of a situation, they were kind of numb and shut off, because as parents they were like, why did you tell this after 15-20 years of what you have experienced? Because they could not grasp that, oh, this could happen to my daughter. So that's where even my father was kind of silenced and shut off. He could not really put it in words, even though he might be experiencing certain pain around it. But this is the issue. When parents come to know that something a child has been hiding but has been going through that problem, here comes that understanding, and the communication part is within the family. And now, because we are told to keep quiet and always follow the instructions, now my parents really didn't know, like, how do they make me come out of this problem
Yeah.
of constant grief and sadness. Because it's like your spirit inside continuously is reiterating that event, saying that this is injustice, this is injustice. And that kept me awake for a long time. In like, that did not give me peace until I tried healing modalities and other ways for myself. So this is where I think even society and as people, as individuals, we should be really okay talking about the tough things. Like, let's do hard conversations.
Yeah.
and a lot can be prevented if spoken clearly.
Mm.
So that's where I urge the parents also, and even the parents who have their newly born kids. I think the communication has to be good. If there is lack of communication between what is happening with the child, the parents will not be able to support or navigate or even stand with that child who is already going through so much,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I think one of the solution was, at one point I decided I have to start speaking up.
Mm.
I mean, even if I sit quiet, even if I sit in fear, it is just landing into some health issue for me.
Mm.
So that's where I thought, okay, speaking out loud is the way to go. That was the solution I found best so far.
So, Rashmi, basically, you carried this with you for 15, 20 years, right? And you are talking about certain health issues. First of all, hats off to you for speaking about it. I know it's not easy to
Yeah.
speak about it, to recall it. It is a trauma that nobody can understand, no matter how big or small this is. But I think every woman will understand.
I think pretty much every woman,
Yeah,
I think, let's just put it as 99.9% women in India
yeah,
have experienced
yeah,
this,
yeah.
of inappropriate behavior through men or inappropriate touch through men or by men. Like, yeah.
So, what were certain health issues that you faced or you felt that this is because of the experience that you had?
Yes, majorly feeling unsafe. I used to have a lot of dreams which were about killing me,
Mm-hmm.
or I being again, raped by someone. So
Mm-hmm.
those things used to iterate. I didn't know back then how to navigate it. So such negative dreams used to always pop up, and yeah, and health issues were majorly feeling that panic, feeling fear, feeling like I'll be killed at some
Anxious.
point of time. That has happened a lot.
Okay.
And other health issues were, I had a lot of skin issues before, too many blisters and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of those heat boils as a result of all those dark emotions that were in my body.
Okay.
So unless I did my breath flow, yeah, it has taken a long time. And but now my health is slightly better and my skin looks better because I worked on those emotions, and that's how it is. But yeah, back in those days, it took me a long time to really find some tangible solution that can get me out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Coming back to women feeling unsafe in public spaces or at work, what do you think are some solutions that you feel can help in the that are there in the current market to maybe even defend a woman, defend
Mhm.
herself, or to call for help, with anything?
Right. So the most common ones is when it is at the time of certain mishap where you have to call someone in that danger moment, at least having memory of at least five people,
Mm-hmm.
the contact numbers of five people, so that you can quickly call and tell them.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the solutions. And I think for the younger generation, the girls that are younger to us, um, you have to have one self defense class
Mm-hmm.
to be taken. It should be as much as a subject in a school.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
will always give women that confidence, at least for your practice, or just to know the basics of what self defense is. That will still build up that confidence in a woman that she can walk freely wherever she
Yeah.
wants to.
Yeah.
So I have been advocating for that for a lot of college girls and school girls in Belgaum, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of that is required. I think that is where it will give them a sense of body confidence
Mm-hmm.
and total safety feeling as well.
Rashmi, I know like there are a lot of places where the issues are being spoken about. You know, we all know what is the statistics of rapes being reported. There are so many experiences that women are talking about, but it is just about the issue and not about what can we as a society do for it. You know, whatever it can be, as you're as a human being, or for example any cab driver or any auto driver, what can they do from their end? As you said, right, your father was numb when he heard about it. What can a father do about it? What can a husband or a boyfriend or a brother, all in our individual capacities, how can we contribute to this cause?
Two things that are coming is, first, listen to the woman who has gone through it. If the woman, or even sometimes men, have gone through such a situation, we don't listen properly. We are like, oh, she might be just cooking up some stories. It has happened. Listening is what is important. And nobody will tell such a dark story unless they have been through it or they have suffered through it.
Yeah.
Nobody will want to cook a negative story to just gain attention. Probably they've gone through it. That is why they are iterating it,
Yeah.
right? Or that regurgitation is happening of the emotions. So listening is very important. I think we as a society, be it India, be it abroad, listening is a very important skill that we need to learn. And that's what men can offer the best from my perspective. And other than that, let's stop telling women that you are just creating a story to create divide in the family. This has happened to me personally. And let's stop victim blaming. That's the phrase which is appropriate.
Yeah.
Let's stop victim blaming, because any victim will not create a story unless it has happened in their life.
Yeah.
And so many other women, the clients, the stories I have heard, the pain, it doesn't go off so easily.
Yeah.
Because your spirit, your heart knows that some injustice has happened. And if you're seeing women angry, and too much of anger is rising in this world, yes, it is because of all these unheard stories and the injustice that has happened towards women,
Yeah.
which few fake cases kind of make it look like, oh, this is the hype. But no, there are a lot of other women who have not spoken anything about what is happening. So let's start listening to women more, with peace and with full attention, and let's stop victim blaming. Let this be a message for all the fathers, all the brothers of the women watching this. Like, speak up for your sister, your daughter, your wife, your mother. Stand up for them. That will be one of the best ways where men can come forward and really be the true protector masculine that women of today's time are really looking for. So anytime the daughter or that child, the girl child, needs somebody else to speak up, I highly recommend, and I wish more and more male collective, the fathers, the brothers, uncles, they really stand up and speak up for their child.